it's just spinning. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, what ho, everyone out there. Hello, hello, hello. What ho, what ho, what ho, what. This is Travel Mateus on Radio Free Anarchy, and I am being hosted by my good friend Mark Doxey. Thank you so much for pulling up, and pulling through.
That's great. I'm glad to be here. Keep our discussion going. I heard on the past year.
Yeah, you sound like you were being eaten by a digital monster.
I've got the robot.
Yeah, I got robot too. Are we back?
Robotic, yeah, robotic, yeah. Both of us are roboting.
Okay, I got you back now.
Yeah, we're both roboting there. So yeah, I hear you've gone to pastures greener. Is that right?
Yeah, I was gonna actually turn the camera on and then go into reverse. Is that me right there? Okay, how can I reverse this? Right here.
Present. If I guessed, come on. At the stage.
Can you see?
Yes, I can. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're going to be there until the fall. Yeah.
Yeah, until yeah, late summer, early fall, autumn, whenever
Yeah.
that transition happens. There's a beautiful oriole right here in the garden area. It's a bright yellow orange, and I can't remember what kind of an oriole it's called, but I just saw it. The other place I saw this oriole was at my grandmother's house in Southern California. When we had hummingbird feeders up, where you put sugar water out, and the hummingbirds come and drink the sugar water.
That's beautiful.
But these birds would come and bot and bully the bird feeders. Yeah, I think this is a hollyhock here. This purple.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Hollyhocks. It looks to me like fox. It's foxglove, isn't it?
oh, I wouldn't know. That's not a hollyhock now that I'm up close, but I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
that's foxglove. It's called Digitalis purpurea. That's its Latin name. It's the only one I
Check
know.
you out.
It's where they get the drug, the heart drug called Digitalis from.
Really?
It's quite, yeah, it's quite
So this is a
poisonous, but
medicinal plant?
yeah, it is. It's quite poisonous if you don't know how to take it. But it's got a little, there's a chemical in it that sort of kicks your heart into a better
This
rhythm.
one's interesting. I've got something on my phone that'll tell me what this is, but I think that this might be some kind of a mullein plant. Did we drop off? I don't hear anything right now.
No, 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 no. I'm
Oh,
just just looking at you.
yeah. I said I'm not sure if this is saving bandwidth or not, but I'll take the camera off.
Okay. So we are still in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have my text with me, so if you've got something there, you can be the boss.
Yeah, well, we're up to, we've discussed the fruits of the Spirit as love, joy, and peace. And now we're up to patience. And I did do a little bit of research on the original Greek word there, which is macroathumia. Do you recognize that?
I don't, I might have seen it early on and messing around with translations, but no, the
Yeah,
macro is interesting.
yeah. It's some Bible translations say patience. Well, patience is quite a broad word. But a kiddie waiting for Christmas, by the time you get to like the 15th of December, is Christmas coming yet? Is Christmas coming? And you'll say to the kid, look, be patient. But this word that Paul used, it's a bit deeper than that. It's having patience um, when you're in difficult circumstances, and you're delaying taking action um, based on evil. What's it say here? It says patience for forbearance, internal and external control in a difficult circumstance, which control could exhibit itself by delaying an action. So you're holding off avenging or becoming injurious yourself to somebody who you're not getting on with, which is quite typical of the Apostle Paul, and he goes into greater depth. When there's a number of words to use, he goes for one that's very deep. So when we are being patient or long suffering, we're holding back becoming angry with another person or giving like for like. The King James actually says long suffering, so you suffer long.
Right, and that is indicative of the fact that you don't know how long the event is going to last.
Yeah, I mean, generally you could walk away from somebody who's annoying you, and never have them as a friend again, never talk to them ever again. But it's those that are close to you or that you don't have a choice in keeping out of their way. Let's say in the workplace, there's somebody that really annoys you, that they're not pulling the weight. They're very ambitious and they'll put you down in order to get where they want to go. So that would be a case of suffering long by not retaliating. Have we lost you again? Have we? I think we have.
No, I was just
Oh,
contemplating.
so how were things left with your mom?
Um, on broken eggshells and crushed tulips. Yeah, I got a bit cross. I was finishing up my order for the barber, and uh, we hadn't been talking because for me, the conversations would have just been, I don't know, pretentious to a certain
Mm.
extent because we're not dealing with the issue. It's like I'm not going to try to have a relationship with you that's pretend when the thing that is destroying our relationship is being ignored. And so, I had to wrestle with that decision to be more aggressive with her because I felt like those issues were needing to be addressed. Otherwise, she would never, you know what I mean? She would never have anyone say something to her that she needs to. dear as much as it comes from somebody who is as close to her as I am and who hasn't said anything up to this point because one of her um, statements was, we've never had a conflict like this before. And to a certain extent she's right, but at the same time it was almost there's almost do or die. So
Is it left that you could go back in the winter?
no, no.
Oh, oh dear. That's sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so patience or long suffering. See, the whole thing is like long suffering is almost self-explanatory, but patience doesn't make any sense. What does that word mean? Be patient. The only thing that is a patient is someone who's waiting in the doctor's office to be operated on or something like that. So you're having to wait. Is that where the word patient comes from? Be
I don't
patient.
know, but it is something that you would say to a kiddie that's getting too excited about something. Just be patient. Um, it's you're
Yeah,
waiting for
but
something.
okay, but Mark, my point is, why would you say that word?
Okay, let's have a look. Should we look at the dictionary? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, patient, bearing or enduring pain, difficulty, provocation, or annoyance with calmness. Number two, marked by the
Well, hold on, hold
exhibiting.
on, hold on. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that because I'm still curious about the etymology of the word patient. Where does that word patient come from? Like you did with the Greek. The Greek was the macroluthemia or whatever, but then we had to define it. So now patient has a root word somewhere. Like where did the word patient come from? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so
Like if you
it's
go to
oh yeah,
etymology.com,
yeah, I've got that. Yeah, suffering, enjoy. It could be. It's Latin for patientem, which means bearing, supporting, suffering. I mean, a patient suffers, doesn't he? Enduring, permitting, and then see patient. I mean, is it different spelling? Is it?
I don't know, but I think
No,
it's
no, no, it's
I
not.
think
It's
it's
the same. So again, it's suffering that is the word because patient, as in somebody who's injured, it just says suffering, injured, a sick person under medical treatment, and again, it's from the same French word.
so that's
So yeah,
interesting. So then we could say that it goes back to the actual act of being the thing that you are experiencing, right? If you have an illness or a recovery, you have to wait and endure that time. And
yeah. So
so
it's got words like endurance and suffering, which somebody who is sick has to endure and suffer. Yeah. So there is a connection there. It's not so much waiting to get better, but more of enduring.
and then there's the old statement, that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger
Yeah.
until it finally kills you in the end.
And then we've got the expression, the patience of Job, because he had to endure physical as well as emotional sickness and three so called friends.
I have a good friend from my seminary days. He and I share the same birthday. He's a year older than I am, but he is a pastor here in the States, and he's been doing Tuesday school Bible lessons for years and years, and I've been frequenting his audience, and he brought up uh, they were talking about concepts of salvation that the Bible doesn't necessarily support. So, things that Christians say that maybe the Bible doesn't necessarily support. And then it's changed now into understanding what salvation means and what redemption is, or what a ransom is, or what it means to be redeemed. And he brought up Job, and he also brought up Ruth, and how in Ruth the attitude of taking the situation in a negative light, where she comes back having lost her husband and her sons, and they called her name, and she said, "Don't call me that anymore. Call me bitter,"
Yes.
because of her experience. And I thought how unlike Job that was.
Yeah. And Ruth became the grandmother of David. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might enjoy those talks. My friend is a little bit avant-garde with his theology.
Yeah, I'm always open for different flavors of interpretation. I mean, what in this part of the Protestant Northern Ireland, when they ask you, "Are you saved?" They believe that they're saved from the fires of hell.
Yeah, that was one of the lessons for a few weeks on his channel, was exactly that. Is like, is this what the Bible's concept of salvation, is this what it is? And so it's been interesting to hear these different people, share their thoughts. And
Yeah, I mean, chapter 5 of Romans, where Paul says that we're all dying because of the disobedience of one man, and then we'll all be made alive through the obedience of one man, like the original Adam to the Christ being the second Adam. I think Paul's message of salvation is saved from death, sin, and death. But I'm prepared to listen to other alternatives.
well, I mean, I would just have to make up what's in my head, because I would say that the first Adam is who you are from birth until you awaken and have your spiritual regeneration, which is when you become Christ.
Okay.
So if you remain in Adam and you never are born again, and you never wake up, and you never awaken to the deeper understanding of who you are and who we are together, um, then you will die. You'll experience what Neo didn't like to consider. You'll look back on your life and think that it's fate, and you suffered your entire life, and so it was just miserable, miserable, miserable. But that attitude, unfortunately, is evidence that you're going to be repeating your life until you have nothing but joy from beginning to end. My philosophy is almost like, just like what I said right there. So if you become born again at, say, age 36, and you start to change your life and become different and more virtuous on the inside, then the more virtue you can develop in the time that remains, and the more light and the more balance you will have in your existence. And that is the ultimate goal of enlightenment, in my opinion, is to look at yourself as if you're trying to balance your entire life on a tightrope, and all of the wobbling and all of the imbalancing is the shadow work that you have to work on to develop yourself. so that the more and more you develop virtuous, light bearing qualities by the Spirit, the less darkness there is, and the more balance you'll have, and then you'll be at peace, and then there will be balance and harmony. That's the way that I look at it.
Like an inner contentment, no longer being anxious about things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can live with that. So that would be your pederast understanding of the old Adam and the new, and then the new Adam is yourself.
No, I don't think so. No, because the preterist interpretation requires the Bible to be literal, and I'm just not there anymore. So I don't think preterism is my go-to. So I would say that, because what I'm saying right now is different. I don't know that anybody else is saying what I'm saying. Like in the beginning, when we have Genesis 1, right? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is a metaphor, so that it's not God, but it is the powers. And then what is heaven and earth? Well, you don't know right away. So heaven and earth is kind of like you have to like put a star by that one. But let's come back to that one later. And then when you come back to that one later, you find out that later on in the Bible, that heaven and earth become a symbolic language for humanity. And then the story just takes on a whole new, almost like never-ending story, kind of a storyline, because it's just a spiritual story about humanity. There's nothing, you know. I mean, I think that there's a lot of value to learning the original languages, but you have to be like a Rick Beato type nut job, just a total fan of those mechanics. But you don't have to be a linguistic doctor. You can read the English and still appreciate it, as long as you understand that it's a story about you. And each of these characters is a potential mirror for you to take into consideration, anyway.
So are you going to go? Are you going back to work at some point? Are you? Because it's early in the
Yes,
day for
this
you.
is yeah, yeah, as soon as we're done here, I'll go back and finish up.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll give it another 10 minutes then, shall we?
Sure, sure.
So you, I just a little one-man tent that you're staying in, is it?
I mean, technically, if you had probably, I could probably, you could probably do 4 to 5 people in there, but it would just be sleeping only. But
Yeah.
with me only in there, it's still roomy. I have all of my stuff out of my car. All of my stuff is in the tent, and it's still pretty roomy.
Good. And are you far from any towns or cities?
Yeah, the nearest town is about 10 minutes away,
Hmm.
15 minutes. And it's got a nice little dive bar with a couple of pool tables. Nice little
Any?
touristy town.
Yeah. Very good. Any karaoke?
I haven't found that out yet.
No. Okay.
Besides that, the fuel is so expensive. It's the most expensive I've seen yet up here, and I'm not gonna be driving back and forth for any karaoke with these fuel prices.
What prices are they?
Over $6.
Um. And do you have a big V8?
It's a big V6,
All right. Okay. Yeah.
but
We're
I
probably
I
we're probably paying
I
a very
drove it
similar.
pretty. Sorry.
We're probably paying the same price, but we've paid that price for many years. But we don't go around in V8s and V6s.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
well,
is
hopefully my son.
so good. Come on, carry on.
I was just gonna say, hopefully my son is benefiting as much as he can from the fact, that I gave him my hybrid.
Yeah. Was that a Prius?
No, it was a model by Ford.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know it then. Wouldn't know it.
Yeah, it was a good little car. It was my grandmother's car.
I don't know whether this stuff in the Middle East is going to end soon or not, but it takes quite a time before the flow gets back to the where it should be, even if they did open up those straits.
Yeah, I don't know anything that's going on. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's best that way. I mean,
The only thing I can see, yeah, the only thing I can see is the price of fuel.
yeah.
All right, Mark. Well,
It's time to get back to work, is it?
I suppose so. I thought I was maybe getting close to the 10-minute mark. So,
Yeah, okay. Okay, doc, my good man. Good to talk to you. We'll speak to you soon.
yep, we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.